The Engero Tales, Tales of the Soul. In the quiet village of Nakalama, nestled between rolling green hills and dense banana plantations, everyone knew everyone. The air was always filled with laughter, children's chatter, and the scent of freshly tilled earth. Life moved at a gentle pace, and neighbors looked out for each other. That's why it was so strange when Old Man Kalemo suddenly stopped appearing on his porch. To 11-year-old Juma, Old Man Kalemo was a mystery. He was a solitary figure who rarely spoke but always sat on his creaky wooden chair, watching the world pass by. Every afternoon, like clockwork, he would sip his mug of spiced tea, his eyes half closed, as if he were seeing something far beyond the hills. Then, one day, he vanished. Juma noticed first. No one else seemed to care, brushing it off as the old man's strange ways. But Juma was curious. Where could Old Man Kalemo have gone? His house, a small mud brick hut with a thatched roof, looked abandoned. The door was shut tight, the window shutters drawn, and his precious flower garden had started to wither. He probably went to live with his relatives, Mama Naki said, plucking beans outside her house. That old man was too lonely. But Juma wasn't convinced. Old Man Kalemo had no family, at least none that anyone knew of. Determined to solve the mystery, Juma set out on his investigation. The first step was to ask around the village. He spoke to everyone, the shopkeeper who sold Old Man Kalemo his weekly supplies, the women at the well, and even his schoolmates. No one had seen him leave. It was as if he had just disappeared. The next afternoon, Juma gathered his courage and approached the old man's hut. The air around it felt heavy, like a secret waiting to be uncovered. He knocked, his heart pounding. No answer. He pushed the door gently, and it creaked open. Inside, the room was dark and musty. Sunlight struggled through the gaps in the thatched roof, illuminating dust particles dancing in the air. The house was just as Old Man Kalemo had left it. A half-finished mug of tea sat on the table, now cold and stale. His walking stick leaned against the wall, and his sandals were neatly placed by the door. Juma's eyes fell on a book lying on the chair, open as if Old Man Kalemo had been reading and had simply gotten up but never returned. Curious, Juma picked it up. It was an old diary, its pages yellowed with age. As he flipped through, his eyes widened. It was filled with drawings, sketches of strange creatures, swirling clouds, and a door carved into a tree. The last entry read,
"The door calls to me. Tonight, I will answer."
A shiver ran down Juma's spine. What door? What did it mean? Determined to find answers, Juma scoured the village, looking at every tree. At the edge of the banana plantation, he found it, a massive ancient tree with twisted roots and sprawling branches. Its bark was rough, gnarled with age, and right in the center was a faint carving of a door, just like the one in the diary. His heart raced. Could Old Man Kalemo have gone through this? How? Why? Juma reached out and touched the carving. It was cold, unnaturally so. Suddenly, the tree began to hum, a deep vibration that echoed through the ground. The carving glowed faintly, and before he could pull away, the outline of the door shimmered and opened. Juma stumbled back, his eyes wide with fear and wonder. Through the doorway was a swirling mist, shimmering with colors he had never seen. Voices whispered, soft and echoing, calling him. And then, he heard it, Old Man Kalemo's voice.
"Juma, you shouldn't have come here."
The old man stood just beyond the mist, his figure hazy and translucent. His eyes were filled with sorrow, his body surrounded by strange creatures from his drawings, their eyes glowing softly. Juma wanted to speak, to ask a million questions, but his voice was stuck in his throat. The old man took a step back, his form flickering. I answered the call, but I can never return. Go back, Juma. Never speak of this place. Before Juma could protest, the door slammed shut, the carving on the tree fading back into the bark as if it had never been there. The humming stopped. The air grew still. Juma stood there, his heart pounding, his mind racing. He never told anyone what he had seen. No one would believe him. Days turned into weeks, and Old Man Kalemo's house was eventually cleared out, his belongings distributed among the villagers. They said he must have wandered off and gotten lost. But Juma knew the truth. He knew that appearances could be deceiving, that sometimes the simplest people held the most extraordinary secrets. And he never went near the ancient tree again. The end. Subscribe, like and share our channel Engero Tales, the Tales of the Soul. Don't miss an episode as new tales await you every week. Let the stories awaken your spirit and fill your soul. Watch. Share. Keep the tales alive. See you again.